Hey, YouTube world, what's going on? So, Sunday, a good old yellow cup with coffee. Yeah, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so of course, gonna be watching the games, friend or friends, depending how things go tonight. Okay, so my audience is mainly male. I mean, shoot, I talk about NFL football, baseball, basketball, soccer, any sports in general. I mean, basically like males like from the age ranges of like 18, males like 18 to like 65. Obviously, that audience is like there, you know. Uh but this is mainly for males like, like 18 to 25. You know, your generation, you guys grew up with the tools, the technology, and this and that. And I'm not discrediting anything because these tools are great and they're wonderful. And I wish I had these when I was younger. I mean, they did some of the forms of these things were already here, but then they just evolved. It got better as timeline got older. Yeah, cell phones were around when I was in high school, though. But it was like the indestructible Nokia phones and flip phones and stuff. But the power that they had and what they could do and all that. See, what I'm doing right now, this couldn't have been done 20 years ago. No way to record yourself on your phone, have a video, then with that file to be able to upload it, put it on the internet online, and anybody in the world could basically watch, listen what I have to say. I couldn't do that back in high school. No way. That would have been like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like I would have had to all right, be able to get a camera, a good camera, you know, say what I wanted to say, upload on a computer that at least I could be able to, handle and store that hard drive, that file size, and then have a website. I mean, to upload a video on that. And I'm thinking, okay, see, high school for me was 2002 to 2006. And I mean, Facebook was around, but I think it was just for colleges, though. You had to have a college email and get invited. It was invite only, though. And I didn't get a Facebook account, especially toward my end of, at the end of high school, my senior year, when I was like, all right, applying for college, you're going to get an account, and then you create an account. So yeah, it was like, and then you had to get invited. So it was like, because I think I made my Facebook account, it was January of 2006 or something. Yeah. So, but then was able to upload video. But I mean, the main thing was like MySpace, though. But MySpace, oh God, if I can remember, if you did upload video, what was the quality like? I don't know, remember. It was like, and then YouTube, I mean, it really wasn't to that point of were people doing this stuff. It was just, yeah. So again, this generation, I'm trying not to bashing you guys, and hopefully you guys are still listening though, because it's like the attention spam just whoop goes after, because the shorts, it's gotta be quick, quick, quick. But sometimes you gotta train your brain to listen longer. It's good. It's a good thing though to have a longer attention span. Trust me. But anyways, when should you be a critical thinker? Think for yourself, or being old school, asking people before you ask AI. ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, all those tools and stuff. I mean, I use ChatGPT personally, though. I don't use it that much, but it's more of like a last resort kind of thing. I feel like when you exhausted all your benefits or your resources that you have outside of just AI, then I think you could delve into it, though. I also think trying to blend in the new with the old could still work, though. But try not to be so dependent on it. I felt like I've said this before. I don't know. I could have probably said this in my other channel. try not to beat a dead horse on this topic. You know, it's like, oh, you already said that. Why are you saying it again? Well, if I did, then the reason why I'm repeating it is because I think it's a serious topic. You know, it's a serious thing with mental health. Because I just, yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't know how things are going to be, like, especially with Gen X and then Gen Y, millennial, you know, whatever, like my generation. When we start to get older, like we are middle aged technically now, but when we get older, middle age, because when the boomers slowly start to go, and that generation is just because it's like I'm starting to see, you know, a lot of mental decline. You know, think about of like, you know, like Alzheimer's, dementia, or any other forms of diseases. Now, could that be preventable or not? I don't know. I don't have the exact rules or right answer, but I just feel like, you know, can we control that? Can we not? That's, yeah, I'm not too sure, but when to use, when to find that fine balance, you have to ask yourself. And this is my advice, I'll say, though. Comes at least with the mental up here, you know, because there are some things where I'm like, don't take my advice, you know, don't, you know, just be like, hell no, this guy, pff, yeah. There's a reason why there's certain topics I don't discuss, because it's like, where's my proof? Where's my experiences? You know, my life resume. What do I have to show for this and that? No, it just, and there's people that say stuff. I'm like, okay, where's your proof? Show me your proof. But I will say this when it comes at least with mental health, and I think, in my opinion, somebody's experiences with this can help, you know, you or whoever. You know, you never know until you try it for yourself after you listen to somebody. But you have to be intuitive with yourself at first to be like, let me try to figure this out. Let me try to use my brain. Let me try to be like, all right, let me hand write this down. You know, let me step back and think of all the possible scenarios, making these certain decisions of my life. Because that's all. I mean, we wake up and we do things in life. We at least got to make sure that we got, you know, I mean, if you got shelter, clothes, food, water, something to drink and stuff, I mean, you're already lucky. You're in the ballpark. Okay? I mean, it's because it's so easy to compare ourselves, like, oh, why we don't have this or that. And I get caught up on that too. But when you have those basic things, it's like, okay, I at least have that. But then it's like, okay, now I have that, and I'm trying to live my life. You know, what service of society I have to do, aka work, or unless I was inherited a lot of money and I'm just living off that money, I mean, you're gonna have to work, you know. But at least when you have all that, you got to think of like, okay, this is what I have, this is what I'm doing, you know. I think I'm good. You know. I can navigate life a little better, easier, and this and that, though. So that would be kind of on my path. I'm like, do I have to ask ChatGPT every single question about every single decision in my life? No, you don't have to. I mean, it's just only do it for difficult things. If after you exhausted all your options, do it for difficult things. You know, that's my advice on that, on mental health, though. Because if I'm hearing, you know, this is gonna be such a really kind of pandemic thing where mental health could be a huge thing in the future, then look, I mean, there's gonna be a point where it's like you gotta step back away from technology, you know. I know my activity here has been a lot more lately, but also depends on time of year and certain events and things. But I do little tricks and trades, a lot daily journaling, handwriting, having a pen, paper, writing that down. Trying to read some more. So yeah, young generation, hey, it's okay to go back to the old school. You blend in a little bit of the old school with the new school, but when you depend, I think, one or the other more, especially with the AI, that's not going to be a good thing. So, yeah. All right. Hopefully, like I said, not beating this topic like a dead horse, but this is a very important thing that's going to be in the future that I could see, and hopefully it's like, hopefully like people could start having these solutions to navigate through that when some things are going to pop up. Yeah. Got much love for y'all, and I will be posting a video on after the Super Bowl tonight. It may be uploaded by tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, and that's gonna be my the rest of the football content, NFL football content until July or so, like when training camp starts. I'm not gonna post everything on whatever's going on with the Falcons or even the Rams. Yeah, I heard the news already coming out with Atlanta, and I'm not gonna post about that though. Why? Because I don't want to, and it's negative news, and it's just not for me to say this. No. So let time take its course on that. All right, got much love for y'all. Peace. I'm out.